Understanding Joseph Smith's polygamy was a big challenge for me. To cut through all the hype and sensationalism that surrounds this topic, I relied on historians who have dedicated their lives to finding early documents that provide a reliable history of what was going on with Joseph Smith's polygamy. In Richard Bushman's Rough Stone Rolling, he asked an important question. Referring to Joseph Smith, he said, "Was he a blackguard covering his lust with religious pretension, or a prophet doggedly adhering to instructions from heaven?" Why did Joseph Smith start polygamy? What motivated him? I wanted to know the truth, so I prepared a list of questions I needed to find answers to. I went to the experts, men and women who have studied original documents left by those who knew Joseph Smith and knew firsthand what transpired in Joseph's polygamy. This short presentation is designed to give brief answers to key questions. I've included the sources used so those experiencing a faith crisis can search the record in greater detail for themselves. Question 1. Did Joseph Smith practice polygamy? Yes, he married 35 women. Brian Hales. Probable sealing type? Time only 4. Time and eternity 17. Eternity only 13. Unknown 1, Fanny Alger. Note the sources I have here. Brian C. Hales is the author of 6 books on Mormon polygamy, including a 3-volume series on the history and theology of Joseph Smith's polygamy. Question 2. Did Joseph Smith marry other men's wives? No, there is no reliable evidence of a woman who believes she had 2 husbands in this life. Brian Hales. Question 3. Did Joseph Smith practice polyandry? No, there's no evidence Joseph Smith practiced sexual polyandry. Brian Hales. Joseph did marry for eternity only, married women. And Richard Bushman adds, in most cases the husband knew of the plural marriage and approved. None of the women seem to have complained, and their legal husbands left no grievances against the prophet. Polyandry never occurred because the women only had one husband in this life and in the next life. Question 4. Did Joseph Smith send men on missions so he could marry their wife? No, this is a complete lie. There's no evidence for this claim at all. Brian Hales. Question 5. Did Joseph Smith marry young girls? Yes, 2 aged 14 and a 16-year-old. Brian Hales. On the left are a list of the young girls that Joseph Smith married. While these ages may seem young in our day, it would not have been considered scandalous in the 1840s. Although the 2 14-year-olds may have been eyebrow-raising. There's no evidence of sexuality between Joseph and the 2 14-year-old wives. This is a key question for me. Question 6. Did any of his plural wives turn against him during his lifetime or after his death? No, none of them ever criticized Joseph. Brian Hales. In his book, he said, "I think it's important to note that if we follow them out, all but 7 of them died in Utah. None of these women ever criticized Joseph, even though they had remarried and they had experience with the family and sexuality. None of them were later saying, 'Joseph used me or beguiled me or deceived me,' or that polygamy was just a sham for Joseph to get sex. I mean, there was none of that." Question 7. Did Joseph Smith father children from his plural marriages? No, there are no known children. Brian Hales. DNA testing has been performed for 6 children who are the most likely to be Joseph's children. The results have all been negative. Question 8. Did an angel with a drawn sword command Joseph to enter plural marriage? Yes, the angel brandished a sword only on the 3rd visit. Brian Hales. With sword in hand, the heavenly visitor expressed severe displeasure, threatening Joseph with destruction unless he went forward and obeyed the commandment. Here's a picture of Emma Smith. Emma's attitude and reaction to her husband's involvement with polygamy needs to be discussed separately. Below are links to excellent resources for those who are interested in learning more details. After asking and finding answers to the preceding questions, I asked myself a final question. Do I believe that Joseph Smith was a prophet following God's command by entering into plural marriages? I answered that I did. The main reason was how his plural wives felt about him. They all considered him to be a prophet following God's command. At least one had an angel come to her in answer to prayer. Others reported they received spiritual confirmations that Joseph was obeying God's will when he proposed to them. There are numerous links below for those who desire more information to this important topic.